everybody, and welcome to Brooks Knows Baseball, the weekly podcast where we talk about all things baseball, some cool stories that we think of, as well as a little bit of stats at the end of the show. Today's show we're going to be talking about the unsung heroes of the top 5 baseball teams in the major leagues right now, which are Atlanta, Tampa, Baltimore, Texas, and the Dodgers. The 5 teams, 2 of which, probably 3 of which, are very shocking that they're up there. And it is a beautiful day because the Yankees are on last place as well. So, but I'm getting beside myself there. But we released a documentary this yesterday morning, which it has a decent amount of views. We're doing higher than normal on a lot of things. We get some subscribers from it as well. It's about the Baltimore Orioles. It's called Orioles Magic, the story of the 2023 Baltimore Orioles, about how they were starting with 115 losses and moved all the way up to the third best team in baseball. And looking like by the end of this week, they'll be first place in AL East as well.
Well, they got less losses in Tampa.
And Tampa is reeling right now, badly. So, but let's take a look quickly here. Like I said, we're going to talk about the unsung heroes. I know T-Bone's been working on this a little bit, but we're going to go through the top 5 teams overall in baseball. So if you wanted to go ahead and get started with the first guy, I believe we agreed that it would be Eddie Rosario. Or is that what I thought?
That's what you thought. I thought, or you give your reason, I'll give you mine.
Yeah, so my reasoning, I'm a little bit biased because the Twins guy, previous years, but let me read you something for my buddy here. So in 2019, he hit 276, 32 home runs, 109 RBIs, Eddie Rosario, okay? Those are fantastic numbers. Year before that, he hit 288. Year before that, he hit 290. So those 3 years, all with 24 or more home runs and 77 or more RBIs in each 3 of those years. When you put numbers up like that, you are considered the best player in baseball, at least in your position there. But looking here at Atlanta last season, he was limited to 80 games, hit 212 and 5 home runs. Looking at this year, his batting average is up to 255, which is still a little bit below his 269 career average, but his 15 homers and 44 RBIs really stand out. And I mean, they're the best team in baseball right now, and he's your starting outfielder, and he's taken his play to what they figured it should have been, and he's delivered on it this year. Now he doesn't get much recognition anymore, but that's why my pick is Eddie Rosario.
All right, well, I'm going with Orlando Arcia because beginning of the year, they really, after Dansby Swanson left, they were like, who we're going to put at shortstop. Everybody was thinking Grissom might be a shortstop, although he's not really a great fielder, but he can hit. But Orlando Arcia wins the job, does so good, batting 290 now, 30 RBIs. He makes the All-Star team. Here's a guy winning, probably supposed to be starting, and he makes the All-Star team. So he's my pick for Atlanta's unsung hero.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. It was hard to pick one from Atlanta because there's pretty star-studded throughout the lineup there. It couldn't really go much pitching. I guess you could because Max Fried and what's the other guy who's hurt? I think I read today they combined who's their top pitchers that are hurt? Was it Minter and Fried?
No, Minter's playing. Soroka just came back after 2-3 years of being out. But Fried and but the other one you could talk is Elder, the pitcher Elder, was a Bryce Elder. He came. I mean, he came out of nowhere.
Yep. Moving on here to the second best team for now in baseball is the reeling Tampa Bay Rays, and I think we come to an agreement there. And correct me if I'm wrong, Josh Lowe.
Yeah. Last year he started out with the team as I remember, and he couldn't cut it. They sent him down. But this year he's hitting 253. That's okay. But
no. He's hitting 272 this year. 253 is his lifetime average.
Oh, yeah. I remember it. And I did that for his home run stats, too, and then I correct him. Yeah, he's got 12 homers, but he's got 50 RBIs and 19 steals. Yep. I mean, so that's a solid year. And
OPS is at 800 as well, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't really see that coming after how he looked last year, but he's young. So good for him.
And he's from Virginia, which is a good thing for people that are from Virginia.
Well, I've seen conflicting reports that he was born in Chesapeake, Virginia. His brother was born in Norfolk. Their dad was a Navy pilot stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. Me being very close to Norfolk, Virginia, I'm kind of prejudiced for those guys.
Yeah. Or him is Nate Lowe, his brother from the Rangers?
That's right. Yeah, he's the one born in Norfolk.
They should have
Yeah.
kept him there, and then they should have Nate Lowe, Josh Lowe, and Brandon Lau batting back to back. I think it would have been
Yeah.
funny. In PlayStation, they had it that way in the show. So I thought it was
Imagine
fun. But going on to the next best team in baseball.
Let me take this one because I know I had to convince you. Okay, you're going to say the Orioles, and it's Adam. In my book, it's Adam Frazier. A lot of Oriole fans, they talk bad about Adam, but he's having a career year. It's most home runs he's ever hit in a year. He's at 12. He's knocked in 44 runs. He's hitting 240. Well, last I checked, it's 240. He's played second base like 77 games, I think, and he's played like 5 games in between left and right field, and I think he's even played DH. So he's a leader. He's steady. He's calm. His fielding percentage of second is 992, so he hadn't made many errors. He makes the routine double plays. He makes some hard double plays. I think he's what he needed, and he's a huge upgrade over what they had last year. I mean, Rugnet Odor. Anyway, this guy's way over the interstate. Rugnet hadn't seen that in a long time, I don't think. But anyway, I just think he's a huge upgrade. He's a leader, and his numbers are solid. I mean, I wish he hit for
Can I
average.
go in there
and I think if you look, he doesn't strike out a great deal, doesn't he? Walk some too.
Yeah, he does get on base good, and I will admit that. However, are you done, or you want to keep going? Because
I'm finished with him.
There's three guys I want to mention for me.
I went on the Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other one I was going to say before I narrowed it down was Ryan OHearn because he's batting over 300. KC, now we know why they stink, but thankfully, didn't they beat Tampa today?
Yes, they did, thankfully.
But, he's got 28 RBIs, only 49 games, 352 on base, plays good defense, and he's helping them because Mountcastle's had a lot of problems and still really not back 100% because he's only had like 4 or 5 at-bats since he came back. So OHearn's helped him a lot.
3 players I want to touch on, they're all pitching prospects. Or not, I guess
you're going to say Cano?
Yennier Cano is number one. Yeah, the Cuban righty who has a snappy sinker. If you watch my video, I thought that was a good snappy sinker. But he's a 1.61 ERA. Literally came out of nowhere. I think he was suspended for some off the field issues a couple years ago. Missed the whole year of baseball, but he's back and he was in AAA. The Twins called him up last season, and he did so bad they sent him back down to, I guess, across town to St. Paul, and then they shipped him off for George Lopez, and then
Jorge.
Yeah, George
Lopez is the guy from TV.
Jorge Lopez. Well, only reason I say George, because when I was younger, I was watching MLB Network, and Jorge Posada was on there, and his teammates were calling him George. That's the only reason I say George.
They're on the Yankees. They don't know better.
And then I think some other guys, and again, we know a little bit more about this because we don't really miss any games. I think Danny Coulon has really stepped up for him this year out of the left-handed bullpen, but the two guys I wouldn't necessarily, I would say, are Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. They have
Bradish played outstanding.
They're top end guys. Kyle,
it's like Bradish today.
Bradish went 7 1/3 today. Over on the season, he's got a 3.0 ERA, 17 games.
Just think of this: they gave away Dylan Bundy for him.
Oh boy,
yeah.
But looking at him, so Kyle Bradish 6-4, 3.0 ERA, 91 innings, 1.1 WHIP. That's not the best, but then you go to Tyler Wells at 3.1 ERA. So those two guys right there, very good. I mean, I think if they didn't have those two guys, they would not be in the position that they are today because every other starter that they have, Dean Kramer will have a good game here, then 3 bad games, 2 good games, 3 bad games. He's hit or miss. Now, he's done good recently, but his ERA overall in the year is 4.5. So not great. But yeah, Tyler Wells and then Kyle Bradish and Cano, I guess, would be my picks there. But moving on here to the Texas Rangers. I know you have this guy, and I don't necessarily know if I agreed so much, so I'll let you go ahead and start, then I will go.
Well, a guy I've always liked, I'm assuming he's Polish, and I'm half Polish, and Travis Jankowski from Pennsylvania, like part of my family. He's batting .326. He's had more at-bats this year than he's had in like 5 years. I mean, who expected him to have hit 326? He stole 13 bases, played all the outfield positions. He's a hustler. I've always liked him. Most at bats since 18. So I think he's an unsung hero. I mean, we know about all the big names they got, so he's helped them a lot.
What about Nathan Eovaldi? No one expected him to be one of the top pitchers in the American League.
He's a big free agent sign. You expected him to do
Yeah,
good.
but his run average is almost 2 runs lower this year than his career. About 1.5.
How's his last 5 starts?
His last 5 starts, not bad.
Or 7.
3.5 ERA in 41 innings. And
there you go. Climbing.
Okay, overall in the year is a 2.8. He's one of the top pitchers in the American League this year. He's gonna finish top 5 in Cy Young voting.
I hope he does, but I don't know.
I think John Gray's really stepping up for him. John Gray is one of those guys who's always potential as opposed to actual talent, I think, in my eyes, but he's done really good. And then Aroldis Chapman really for him. I'm just kidding. But
he's their closer now, right?
He is their closer now. Yeah, they definitely needed a closer, so I'm happy they got him because I think, as we predict here, they're going to go to the World Series. So they'll need that. But I think Jonah Heim, who's been average at absolute best, really come on strong this year. He's hitting 285. He made the All-Star team, 13 home runs, 63 RBIs. Will probably win the Silver Slugger in the American League, maybe even the Gold Glove as the best catcher in the American League. And
I disagree.
You can disagree, but you'd be wrong. You can't really say Corey Seager because he's always been a stud. Can't say Marcus Semien because he's a stud. Can't say Nate Lowe because he was a stud last year. So Jankowski would probably be good. Or Jankowski, not Janikowski. And I think Jonah Heim. Another one, Josh Young, who's always struggled with health issues. It really stayed true and is doing amazing.
He's impressive.
He looks to be easily, right now, I think, the front runner for the American League most valuable player. But moving on to the Los Angeles Dodgers. That was a little hard one to come up with, I think. What about you?
Yeah, because they don't have all the big names like they used to. I mean, they got a few, vets, but Friedman. But Shelby Miller, I guess, he's having a good year. I mean, I think his first year or two were good in the major leagues, and he had health problems, from what I understand, and he just never came back. But this year with the Dodgers, I don't have his numbers in front of me, but you probably have him up there.
Yeah, Shelby Miller is he's only pitched in 25 games, but he's a 2.4 ERA, whips at 1.00, which for him it's fantastic considering. I mean, look at his last year even with San Francisco. I mean, well, he hasn't been healthy, man. He's pitched less than 30 innings since, I guess, less than 35 innings since 2019. So it's been quite a while, and it's been just horrible. I mean, in Chicago, well, this is a skewed stat, but I'm saying it anyway. His whip was 6. 6.
Rough.
Granted, it's only 2 innings, but still, it was 6. And then it's just rough. And then going back to, I guess, his last full-time starting, sort of, Arizona in 2016, it was a 6.1 ERA in over 100 innings. But the year before that, in Atlanta 2015, it was a 3.02. He had 200 innings at 183 strikeouts. So who really thought he would be that bad 8 years later? So good to see him finally really stepping back into where he used to be, maybe, and it's good for him and happy for the Dodger fans. But really looking up other Dodger players, is anyone else coming to mind for you? You could think maybe.
No, last I checked, catcher Barnes wasn't hitting.
Mookie's not. JD Martinez has really come back strong this year, hitting 258. But James Outman started the year good as a rookie. Outman, really died off. Jason Hayward, I didn't know he's still playing baseball, but apparently he is.
You call that baseball?
He's hitting 251, better than Trace Thompson, who's hitting 150.
He's never been a hitter. He has a game here or there, but he's never been a.
Austin DeLuca, man. He was checking. I mean, Austin Barnes. Sorry.
Yeah, was he hitting like 150?
Who wishes he's hitting 102? How is he in the majors?
He's
got to be. I hope he starts tomorrow in Baltimore. He's got to be the best defensive catcher in the history of baseball.
He don't play that much, man. I mean, they got Will Smith. I think this is the worst year he's ever had. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, maybe he learned some bad habits from Mexico.
He's been in the Dodgers since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch the NL West, but so that kind of wraps up. We're kind of just rambling here with T-Bone, but that kind of wraps up our unsung heroes. You got any closing thoughts before we hit the standings real quick?
As far as unsung, no, that's pretty much it.
There we go. Looking here at the standings, the American League East, the Tampa Bay Rays are 60 wins and 36 losses, only one game up on the Baltimore Orioles at 57 and 35. So, say Tampa loses tomorrow. Oh, Tampa's got Texas this week. That could be a good week for the Orioles.
I
But
think Tampa's sliding quick. I think they've
they're
got
3-7 in their last 10.
they got some injuries. Orioles are like 8-2 in their last 10. They won 8 in a row.
Yes, they
So
won 8 in a row. They're 8-2. The Blue Jays are also coming on really strong. The winners.
the Yankees are coming on too, right?
We'll get there. The Blue Jays are 8-2 in their last 10. They won 4 games in a row. They are 53 and 41.
Think of this: they won 4 in a row, 8-2 in their last 10. They ain't caught up anything on Orioles.
The Red Sox are coming on too. They are 8-2 as well in their last 10. So I guess Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston are all doing really good. Boston's 50 and 44. When we're talking about our trade deadline special, Boston's gonna be. I bet they're buyers.
I think
right
so.
now they're game and a half out of the wild card. I'm probably not going to win the East. Because I just think Baltimore's going to
what
win
kind of
that.
farm system they got? Maybe they're the team that gets Ohtani.
Maybe I'd rather him go there than New York. Honestly,
Boston will
the Red
spend the
Sox.
money. I'd rather go to Baltimore or Washington or Atlanta, but I think he's going to Texas. That's my guess.
I could see that.
I can see it big time. Texas spends money. I mean, hell, they ought to. They're one of the biggest markets in major leagues.
Yeah.
They spend money. They should spend money. They need to win a World Series.
I think they could go this year. But looking at the AL Central, we got the Minnesota Twins at 48 and 46, taking the lead back again. They've won 3 in a row, so they came out firing after the All-Star break. The Cleveland Guardians, who have lost 4 in a row. Detroit Tigers at 41 and 51 losers today. They play Kansas City. Chicago White Sox 40 and 55, just done. And then Kansas City bring up the rear as they have the entire year. Going to the AL West, Texas Rangers have won 3 games in a row. They lead Houston by 3.5 games. And then Seattle at 500, which again, what they always are. The Angels, again, 46 and 47, right around 500, which is what they always are. They're actually playing Houston right now. Do you know the score right now?
Yeah, LA's winning 4-3. Got bases loaded, and Taylor Ward's up to bat.
There you go. And then we got Oakland Athletics, who are 25 and 70, worst record in the major leagues. They got Atlanta, the best team and best record in baseball, 61 and 31. Actually lost 2 in a row to who they lose to?
They lost to Chicago White Sox.
That's a shock.
Dylan Cease.
That's right. We talked about that.
Yeah, because Anderson had like 3 hits today.
Yep. Then we got the Miami Marlins, who just got swept in Camden Yards. They didn't look like a good team. I know they just didn't look like a good team to me.
I didn't know.
The Phillies are coming on. The Phillies, I think, are a team to watch out for. They're going to get hot. I think they're going to get real hot. They're winners of their last 3, 51 and 42. Game and a half game out of the wild card. They got the New York Mets.
They lost again, didn't they?
No, they won today. But then
they have to come back and beat the Dodgers? What?
Mm-hmm. They're not doing good. They're 43 and 15. They got the Washington Nationals 37 and 56.
Well, Angels. Hold on, Angels just knocked in. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. They cleared the bases. The Ward got a double and cleared the bases.
There you go.
Now they went 7-3.
Going to the Central, we have the Brewers at 52 and 42. The Cincinnati Reds at 50 and 44. Losers of 4 in a row. I think they're coming back to earth a little bit, maybe. The Chicago Cubs, 43 and 49. The Pirates, 41 and 52. And then the St. Louis Cardinals at 40 and 53. Way back there. Then you got the LA Dodgers, who are first place at 53 and 39. The San Francisco Giants, only 1.5 games behind them there to win the division. That would be shocking.
I like seeing the Giants doing it. Since all these guys don't want to go play there. They got a beautiful stadium. It's supposed to be a nice city for the most part.
And you feel like feces on the ground.
I'm not getting into politics.
Then you got Arizona Diamondbacks at 52 and 42. They have lost 4 games in a row, not looking good. They're
coming back to earth.
Yeah, but they're still a wild card team, which is good for them. And then the Padres have lost 3 in a row.
They're done.
Yeah.
But didn't you say that they might? No, was it me?
No, I read they want to be buyers.
Yeah, I
Why?
heard they're going to Otani may go after him. But who are they going to trade? They traded half their prospects to Washington last year for.
They're not going to get Otani because that would be trading more prospects for a rental. Because how much? I mean, they're going to be paying $200 million in luxury tax.
Well, my prediction is here's my prediction on him. If Texas gets him, they'll sign him. Once he gets there and sees how nice it is down there, and then, or if they don't get him, he'll end up in L.A. L.A. will get him for nothing, for just a free agent next year. Because I heard that's why they cleared the cupboard this year and didn't sign anybody, really.
I think he'll stay on the West Coast, and I wouldn't be surprised either if looking at Seattle.
Yeah, it's probably, I'd say Texas, Seattle, and the Dodgers. I don't think you're going to go to the Mets because they're nowhere close to winning for a long time. They're pitching.
I heard he doesn't want to go to the East Coast or a big market. That's what I heard. That's why Seattle.
A big market? Well, he ain't going to the Dodgers, then, is he?
Well, that's why I think Seattle and their part owner is Nintendo, which is a big Japanese company as well. We'll see. And
well, he'll be in the same boat he is now, never winning.
Well, the greatest Japanese baseball player ever played in Seattle, just about his whole career in Seattle. So,
and they never won anything.
Yeah, no mo.
Yeah, so.
Sorry, Chiro.
You're gonna have no mo show if you keep talking like that.
But yeah, that's the show today. Like I said, we just released a video yesterday. The Orioles documented. It took a lot of time on that. So if you're here at 21 minutes and 30 seconds into this, I guess a little bit more than that because our intro is going to be on here. But like it, share it, subscribe it, comment on us, let us know. I'm looking at the analytics here in the background. In the last 30 seconds, we've had 10 views on this video, so it's grown quickly. We got some, like I said, got some new subscribers from it as well. So, T-Bone, you want to do the sign off here?
Yeah, I think I can probably handle that. That's all for this week, folks, for Brooks Knows Baseball.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Tomboy.